125-run win for India, and they maintain their record of being the only unbeaten side in this 2019 Cricket World Cup. West Indies brushed aside, albeit there were a few hiccups, well, mostly in terms of batting, but that bowling, that Indian bowling, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami and the two spinners, not to forget Hardik Pandya as well. What a bowling performance. Second game running in this game at Manchester against West Indies. It's not like they saved India like in the game against Afghanistan, but the problem with the Indian batting persists. KL Rahul's dismissal precipitated another collapse, and like in the game at Southampton, they were 3 down in the 27th over, which is not really India's template for batting in ODI cricket.
Absolutely not. And when it becomes 2 games in a row, I mean, you can't help but just look into it. What's wrong? Like you said, KL Rahul, 3 matches in a row now he's gotten starts, and I mean, the problem is not that he's throwing away wickets. The problem is probably, he's the kind of shots that is leading him to throw his wicket away. I mean, in Southampton, it was a reverse sweep. Today, it was the combination of a straight drive or a flick or whatever it was. So, yeah, I mean, Rahul himself said he's a little disappointed. But again, another thing I would like to mention here is, 4 innings in a row, Virat Kohli has got 50s. But how often does that happen? How often do you expect Virat Kohli to get a 50 and not convert them? So yeah, these are little things that are probably hurting India. It's probably something they won't realize. They are probably realizing it. You can't really say, but I think this bowling attacks has kind of masked the little frailties that still exist in the batting order.
It's interesting that you brought up that point about Virat Kohli scoring those half centuries. What's been the difference, of course, is in the first 2 games, against Australia and South Africa, you had the top order, and then with Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma there, you get that momentum in the first half of the innings. Even against Australia, that was a key factor. Against Pakistan, that was a factor as well. But since Dhawan's injury, India haven't had that momentum in their top order, and that has perhaps put pressure not only on Virat Kohli, because when you lose so many wickets, I mentioned they were 3 down in the 27th over, and then of course the 4th wicket went, and you have in the last game you had Kedar Jadhav batting at number 5. This game you had MS Dhoni batting at number 5, and in both these 2 games India did not have Bhuvneshwar Kumar, so their tail actually for all purposes began at number 8. So when you lose those wickets, those extra wickets, it puts pressure on Kohli, who doesn't then play his natural game. Perhaps he's trying too hard to bat out the overs, to become the focal point of the innings, which is where, of course, the debate over MS Dhoni continues. Unlike Southampton, though, this was a different pitch. Unlike Southampton, Afghanistan's spin attack, West Indies did not have the best spin attack, but still, India's scoring rate in over number 31 and 40 really slowed down, and that was because of those extra wickets. He did make up for it in the last 10 overs, but that debate is just not going away.
See, how do you approach batting in ODIs? It's supposed to be, the general pattern is to bat out till overs 30 to 35 and then probably set the base. But the problem with India at the moment is that little period of play where they're losing 2-3 quick wickets, and that's happening very frequently now. And even here they were like 180 for 8, and from there again MS Dhoni, and not to forget Hardik Pandya, like providing that partnership of 70 of 60 balls. I think not the most fluent of partnerships, but just about enough to get India to that cautious total, you would say, that little pillow of caution they would want to have when it comes to scoring, because they know that West Indies have this tendency of falling apart as well, and that's possibly the guess they went into with. And the bowling attack, the more you say, the better is that you're running out of synonyms to mention how good the bowling attack is, especially the fast bowlers. I read somewhere that New Zealand are probably are the side which has the best bowling attack. But if you look at a performance like this, it's a hands-down choice,
No, not true. Absolutely. I think India have the best bowling attack. 2 points that you talked about. One, that yes, it was not perhaps the most fluent partnership between Dhoni and Pandya. The reason for that, of course, is because the wicket. It was the wicket that was being used for a second time. It had been used in the game between West Indies and New Zealand last Saturday when India were playing Afghanistan. The big difference, though, that this pitch and this attack, that using that slowness in the pitch, this bowling attack is quite adept to it. Then you bring in the factor that West Indies have a very volatile batting lineup. So against this bowling attack, it was always going to be the case that if they bat out the 50 overs, they will give India a push perhaps for the target. But Jasprit Bumrah keeps it tight in the first few overs. Shami is bowling absolutely beautifully. And it's not just the Vijay Shankar Rishabh Pant question or over selection now. It is when Bhuvneshwar Kumar gets fit, or if he gets fit for the next game against England on June 30th, what do you do? Do you even look at redoing your bowling attack? Because Mohammad Shami has taken 8 wickets in 2 games. We'll come back to that question when we're looking ahead to the India-England game. But this bowling attack against this West Indies batting lineup, there was never any doubt, was there?
To be very honest, I think we were having a discussion as to probably it's that kind of a surface where 9 out of 10 times you would give India the benefit of defending it. But then again, with West Indies, you don't really know. They have this tendency of like just coming out of nowhere. And but again, like you said, these pitches have been used, and going forward, you're not going to have a new pitch. I mean, you will be batting on pitches that's been used twice, thrice, or probably even more. Just from the point of view with the contest between bat and ball, I think India's bowlers were like just right up there, and you don't expect really. 9 out of 10 times, like I said, you would expect India to defend this total, but yeah, to do it and to finally get the result and just dismissing them for such a low score, I think it just kind of just shows the kind of mental space the team is in.
Well, there you go. Aditya is quite happy with India's bowling performance, as am I. India with 11 points in this tournament so far, 5 wins, and that rain-affected game against New Zealand. They're still not qualified for the semi-finals. 1 more point needed, but perhaps that will come in the game against England. Who knows? It's going to be a very, very tough game, a very exciting game as well. Meanwhile, the day began with a mathematical possibility for the West Indies to perhaps make it to the semi-final. That ray of hope is extinguished for another World Cup running. They go home as only and still the 2-time champions.